I want most of the day to be more practical. How do we do the herbs? How we diagnose? How do we do acupuncture? Otherwise, the theory of why to be alive, this is something we need to ponder for a long, long time. But I don't want to do the whole weekend just on that. And then at the end, I just don't know how to do anything. I want it to be something practical. And this seminar is also focusing on fertility. But as I said yesterday, and I know it sounded like a joke, but it was not a joke. The more we know, the less it's good for us in Hunyuan, because this is like a whole new idea. How to think, how to treat, and that's why the fertility will come tomorrow. Yesterday we talked about 1, 2, 3, about the body, the unification, and the heart. So 1 we talked about quite a bit, 2 we started talking about, and 3 we didn't talk about at all. Actually, these exercises, most of it belong to number 3. So it's a little difficult at this point, but I'll explain it a little bit. When we get to number 3, we go back to it more. Yesterday we talked about the body and the unification. We also mentioned that we have something we call the heart, which we will talk about separately, in order that it serves inside. Specifically talking about acupuncture, I think, in my opinion, there are 2 ways that acupuncture can work. 1 is it can work on the body, and the other it can also influence the heart. When we talk about the herbs that we will learn later, that definitely can impact the unification and the body, but has great difficulty to impact the heart with herbs, with drinking tea. The acupuncture has great difficulty impacting unification. It can do it. It can help the body really good, and if we do a different kind of acupuncture, also can help the heart. But addressing unification directly, it has difficulty. The reason that I bring it is because I want to talk about this to emphasize that acupuncture, at least according to Hunyuan, not a universal, according to Hunyuan, could impact just the body. We don't need any of this. Just stick it, stimulate it, move it. This impact the body in different ways. But if we want to reach this, we need a different kind of skill, like the physical stimulation cannot reach it. So this one exercise that is divided into a few different steps, obviously, if you know Chinese culture, obviously it's very heavily Confucian. These are all Confucian concepts. So the last 3 are also Confucian and Buddhist. They both use the last. First 2 are also Taoist and Confucian. This Huaishuan school, the characteristic of the Huaishuan school is that it takes the strong points from all the 3 religions in China and merged them into one: Confucianism, Buddhism, Taoism. And this is what resonated with me with Liu Yuan when I started reading in literature, because he said, if it's good, I want it. If it's not good, I want to throw it to the garbage. Instead of saying I'm belonging to this school, so I'm doing everything what this school is doing. So if I'm a Taoist, I need to do these things. If I'm a Buddhist, I'm doing this thing. For Confucian, I'm doing this thing. Like I can't do the Taoist and this for Taoist. You say, if this has heart in it or real truth, I want it. If it doesn't look fake, I don't want it. Doesn't matter who said it. Liu Yuan says, the heart of the sage has no country. In his time, meaning many people said Confucianism is Chinese from China, Buddhism is imported from India, so Buddha is an Indian, it's not Chinese. He says the heart of the sage is not limited, it's not Chinese thing. If you have a sage in Brazil, it's a sage heart, it's not a Chinese thing. So now starting to talk about these exercises, these come more from Huyaozhen, but also the Huaishuan has their own practices, but it's mostly come from Huyaozhen. And the main idea is, when the baby is inside the uterus, the baby is connected through the umbilical cord in Dantian, and the baby does not breathe. So the energy comes to it natural, automatic, is what they call, and I follow them, the pre-heaven state. Meaning the state before the baby comes out to the world, it's inside. Post-heaven means the baby emerges out of the womb and you cut the cord and he needs to start to interact in this realm, in this world. And in order to survive in this world, immediately the baby needs to start breathing and connecting to physical heaven. At this time also the heart needs to discharge an emotion, and we'll talk about it in the heart department, but I'm just mentioning it needs to discharge an emotion, start feeling, wanting to breathe. Now when the heart starts to move, and I want to breathe. With the minimum, we call it minimum movement. If there's no minimum, like if you go to zero, then you die, you stop breathing dead. So now we don't think about it, but naturally, at the minimum, the heart is moving all the time, meaning emotion and desires move. Even a little bit, we don't know. But all of a sudden, I ran out of air. I have to breathe in. I don't think about it. It's like automatic. But I have the minimum to move a little bit. When we breathe in, I have a certain desire. When I breathe out, I have a different kind of desire. In other words, I'm running out of energy. I need more. But now there's a lot of energy, so there's a different feel. And I don't need anymore. This is like breathing in and out. I want this or I don't want this. I want this, I don't want that. This is called living in the post-heaven, or living in this world. I always have to want something, even a little bit, I don't think about it. And of course, sometimes it becomes much more, like I want much more. But at the minimum, the heart needs to move. This is called post-heaven. And I want just to sidetrack for 1 second before I go back to this. You know, things you look at really entirely depends on your point of view. And it, of course, has cultural issues and all kinds of things. For example, you can have someone look at a piece of gold and it says, or a diamond. It says it's the most amazing because you know it's expensive, it looks nice, and this. But let's say, I don't know, maybe you go to the Amazon and people never saw diamond and they don't know what this is, and they look at a piece of rock, they throw it in the river. Now, what is this? You know, it depends on your point of view of how you value something. This thing that I'm going to explain next, throughout ancient times, up until the 20th century, people looked at this like diamonds. It's like the most precious thing. But that's the reason that we did the history bit yesterday. In the Republican era and the Communist era, each one with different reason. With the modernization science or with the Marxism angle, they took this piece of diamond, they said this is a piece of garbage, threw it in the river. I'm not saying it's good or bad. So in other words, let's say Indian in the Amazon take the diamond to throw it in the river. I'm not saying it's bad. I say each one has their point of view. In other words, this thing, which I will explain next, they said there's no value. Compared to modern science, it has no value whatever. Compared to Marxism, ideology, socialism, it has completely no value. For real. It's not like they were bad people, just for real. It has no value for that purpose. This thing Yaron and Yaron talked about, they say, when you breathe in and breathe out and the heart is moving, I want, I don't want, I want, which is good. This is what we need in the post-heaven. That's what needs to happen. But more than this, and this is very classical, it goes back all the way to the Yellow Emperor, the Han Dynasty, which I'll share in a minute. They say every time when you breathe in and breathe out, the heart moves, I want and I don't want. But at the end, there's a fraction of a second, very short time, that you can't even know that you make connection here. If any of you read some of the Yellow Emperor, the Suwan, they know in one place, there's a place talking about the pulse. It says when you breathe in, there's 2 beats. When you breathe out, there's 2 beats. And then there's another 5th beat. They call it embryonic beat. Embryonic, they call it rune. Rune is the same word that you use for the additional month in the lunar calendar. You know, when you do a lunar calendar, it doesn't match the sun calendar. The year is shorter, so every 3 years you actually have an additional month. This is called rune. So, I mean, I don't know how much you know, but when you do a lunar calendar, every month is 29.5 days. And if you do 12 moons, at the end you get 11 days less than the solar 365 days. So after 3 years, it's like 30 days missing, and that's why they put another moon in. This connection to the what they call pre-heaven or Dantian connection, different styles of Taoism throughout history have different words for it, but they all talk about the same thing. We have the connection here, then we make this the same connection to the mother, to the ancestor, to heaven. It's there all the time, just that it's very small. You breathe in, breathe out, I don't know anything, but in between there's another room, like there's another thing in there. This, Buddhism has this, Taoism, Confucianism, they all have this, with different names, they all have it. The exercise that we're doing here, at the beginning, just being there, and then we do Hunyuan, meaning we start to attempt, breathe, connect the lung and the heart, with this dantian, so we do this exercise. Breathe in, I get used to this. Breathe out, at first I don't feel anything, but I want to start feeling something else. This is called Hunyuan, connecting this and this. This whole set of exercises is geared for acupuncture, it's for acupuncture practice. So these three exercises start to go in that direction, next three. These three exercises are helping us cultivate a skill to use this last three exercises. Like I need to get here something, and these three help this. Using these first three exercises, and then the skill that comes out of the three exercises, again, aim in acupuncture to target this inner circle, the heart, and not so much the physical body. Now remember before I was just talking about the heart needs to move at least a minimum to breathe, and everything that we do in the post-heaven is also with the heart. The heart needs to move and then I do it. Like I want this and then I go to get it. I can't go to get it and then want to go there. It's always the heart moves and then you do the action. And that's why the first exercise is called make the heart proper, holding the hands together, just looking at the hands and looking over there. In other words, trying to make the heart not want to go there, not want to send the energy there, not want to see colors or do something. Basically, don't want anything. You just look here and look there. The next exercise is called sincere intention, which also called sincere body. And this will fit with the acupuncture chart that I will show later on. But how is the direction of the energy in the body going? And I will explain it later, but this is this. And this Go, which is again, there's a long story behind it, but it's a Confucian concept, here translated as sorting the heart. It's something that is our main obstacle to reach this pre-heaven state. When we start doing these three exercises, zhi, or knowing the stopping point, or knowing the origin, this is when we start doing the breathing, and just try to feel beyond the emotion. I want, don't want, how does it feel? At the beginning, this is very stressful. We're not used to it. But as I mentioned before, this is training. It's not a feel-good exercise, it's training. This zhi, knowing the stopping point or the origin, means knowing how does it feel, this dantian connection. And again, at the beginning, what we did today, if you did it for the first time, it's very difficult. Here, this is like a training method. You definitely can't feel it. But at the beginning, you just feel like the heart is getting nuts. And this is also why maybe a person came here was a little weak or tired. As soon as the heart starts moving, there's much less energy in the body. So this is something, again, it's for practitioner to train a skill. It's not for patients, that's why I said a few times. And for practitioners, that we all are, I think what we want to do is to try to learn to get a better skill, to know better, to do more. It's different than patients. It's like, let's say I want to learn, I want to train how to jump far, right, in the Olympics. It was Olympic here in Rio. It's not like we're talking about jumping. We like running, learning how to jump. That is a difference in talking about it than doing it. So for me, we're not talking about Chinese medicine. We're practicing. Like we're learning how to do it better. It's not talking about it. The more we do these steps proper, in the right way, the more when we get to this place, with the breathing exercises and the one after that, with this breathing, it becomes very calm. These are the names of these exercises: to hold, to be calm, to be in peace. It's not a theoretical. It becomes very, very calm. This stopping breathing and feeling dantian is very comfortable. It's not this agitated feeling. It's very calm. The more calm, naturally the breathing is slowing down, and this gap between stopping and starting again becomes bigger. This in Zen Buddhism is called widening the gap. This brings us to the last exercise called zhi zhi shan. Just as you see, this zhi zhi, this zhi zhi, it sounds the same, but it's different characters. That's why I circled it here. This exercise of starting to know this stopping place, this thing brings goodness at the end. This is the last exercise. This is in Buddhism and Taoism and Confucianism. It's all the same with different names. It's all the same meaning. It's called recovering true nature, bringing back true nature, bringing back light. Everybody calls it. In other words, it's not anymore about how I want, I feel, but rather it's making a different connection. We got all this, and we want to move for the next step.
Então agora a gente vai passar para o próximo passo.